Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This is season 5, episode 9. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel, and you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this episode. Okay, so we start off this episode where we left off. First and foremost, did anyone see the mid-trailer preview? We're on episode 9 and it gets even more chaotic. My girl Meredith has finally woken up out of her somber and out of the bathtub and anything else she may be on. Mary's still going through it. We're looking at a new Mary, at least on the show. She may have been this way all along, but there's a new Mary on the scene. There's a bunch of yelling, there's a bunch of all this stuff, so I don't know. It's not in Mary's home, but there's a lot that's going to happen. It looks like they're going to go on another trip. So it looks like Salt Lake City is turning into a Beverly Hills, because Beverly Hills can do a lot of multiple trips. Of course, they can go 1 to 2 days and all of that. Hopefully, I don't believe it will happen. That could happen for Atlanta and Potomac, but I don't believe it's going to happen. For some reason, other shows get better budgets than others. And I will leave it as general as this and unpassionate, if that's a word, if I can say it that way. Less passionate. I won't show any passion into how I feel about that. Shout out to Bravo and how they do their work. And NBC Universal. So let's get into the episode again. All right, so where we left off is right after Todd talks to John saying, y'all need to get y'all ish together. John goes grab Lisa and says, hey, Todd said da-da-da-da-da-da. So they wanted to talk, but didn't want to talk right there, in front of people and possibly within walls and all that. So they go outside, and you can tell Lisa's disheveled, like, oh my, okay, I'll get my act together. I thought Brownlee kicked them out. So that trailer was quite convincing that they were kicked out, but they weren't. They just, Father Todd, other people would say Grandfather Todd, got them together, and they were better than they were. I don't understand why they would do something next that they did, because Lisa was like, I don't want any trouble with Brown. I want to fix things. Da 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 da. You came on this trip stanking, though, Lisa. Why did you do that? Like, it's hard for me to watch these folks. Let's say I've known these folks for 20 years. I've known these folks for a long time. Get on these shows and do the most towards people that you've known and act like you have relationship with. I understand it's a job. But you do the most with some of the people that you claim you love. And I get you, some of y'all can love hard and you can fight hard. But to be stank on somebody else's trip that you don't have to pay a dime for is very interesting to me. Okay, so I think it's like lunchtime or whatever. Everyone's around. It's silent. It's awkward. Lisa finally brings up to Brownlee, I want to make things right with you. Da 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 da. All of a sudden, she starts talking about, I'm not around people that will make up lies. And then Whitney says, I'm not lying, Lisa. So it starts a domino effect. And the reason I'm not going to specifics is it's like, oh my Lord, we're going through this again. I'm not lying. I came to you with what was told to me, and and I was asking you. And Lisa said, no, you weren't asking me. You were accusing me. I wasn't accusing me. And then your husband did this, F you. Justin said, no, I didn't do that, John jumps in and said, look, let's solve this. Lisa, Whitney, do you think she's a liar? Do you think that Whitney's a liar? So let's end this. Let's go. You don't think that she did this? Cool. Blah, 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 blah. And then there was all this commentary of who knew that the men could help solve our problems. It was very sarcastic. But at least John was able to stop it. And he's like, look, we were just told that we're about to get kicked out. Let's stop this right now. So then Sean jumps in about, as John was trying to speak on the character of Lisa, Sean jumps in and says, well, she did call my wife an F and B. And that's not very good. So then, of course, now Lisa's getting all stuttering or whatever. But she said, well, if you felt offended, this is just my language. Lisa, again, I defended you for part of this season. And Lisa, who in the world is just going to be able to accept being called an F and B? Stop it, Lisa. Take accountability for what you did and said. If she wasn't calling you that, you shouldn't be calling her that. But whatever. Did anything else happen at the table? I don't think so. Next, we have volleyball. The women and men are going to be playing together. They get their bodies together. The only one that's got body is Sean, as far as the men. They get all this, I think they sprayed water or whatever. I've seen it before, I guess, to keep themselves hydrated, keep the skin moist or whatever. They play the music from Mission Impossible. Right into the danger zone. I like the song. So they're playing that, all that good stuff. Did anything else happen? Not that let me go on, and we're gonna go back to Salt Lake. Mary, my God, I don't know what's going on in that home. I think Mary's trying to save her son and be as soft and gentle. Whatever is happening is happening. And Mary goes into Robert Jr.'s room. And Robert Jr. called himself cleaning up. It wasn't cleaned up. Because we're looking around. I'm so glad that the camera didn't pan to everything. They just gave a glimpse. Because then, really there, the producers could have been very shady. But it was pretty bad. So it looks like they stay in that room. I think they get high outside or away from the house, and they come back. They get the munchies. They stay in the room and do what they do. It's quite interesting. This girl is just sitting there eating some Krispy Kreme donut right in the bed. I know Mary wanted to go off. Mary's like, so what are you going to do today? Robert's like, well, I don't know. Don't you think you should be doing something? It's all these long pauses. They talk so slow. I'm actually talking slow today because I think the girl, it's a very weird situation. Mary, what I can't appreciate with Mary is that I'm gonna say it this way: in a typical black home, you are a hurricane, especially when you think that you need to discipline or how can I say this? Let somebody know that you are the authority and you're going to get your ish together. Not saying that Robert Jr. doesn't have that, but I think she knows her child enough to know if I push this way, it's going to go left. So right now, at least she's handling it softly. Maybe later on, it's going to be another way. She does admit that she spoiled Robert, and it's my fault as to where he's at. Not as far as the choices that he's made, but she is talking about, okay, you're going to have to get out into the real world. I'm glad we got that because y'all was really upset that this boy don't have nothing going on with himself. So I'm glad at least that. I would really like to know how bad it gets, in a way. But I'm glad it's not shown on TV. I'm just a little curious because I think we're just getting an inkling as to what happens on a particular day. But anyways, that was it with Mary. I'm glad we got a scene with her. We didn't get the scene with the other one. And I'm kind of sick of y'all. Now, how can I say this? I don't like Heather. I don't like her cousin either. But I don't like her in the way that y'all don't like her. Because a lot of y'all just don't like her because of what she did to Monica. And I'm like, you might just not dislike her, but you make sure that you hate her on the timeline for what I see. So I'm like, no, I don't like her. But for some reason, y'all kept posting about her. Ooh, a Heather-free episode. Why would you keep mentioning somebody that you don't like? Anyways, back to Palm Springs. There's a dinner. It's very eloquent in a way. It's a little bit more upscale. Some people were underdressed. Lisa Barlow, this is your time to shine, and you did not shine. Meredith, I was glad to see some curls in your hair. I think you were kind of dressy. Seth had a Meredith or a Meredith Marks or Brooks Marks hat on. I was like, oh Lord Jesus, how y'all gonna come to this a little fancy? It's a fancier dinner, looking like that. I think Todd even said that the tequila Vita is quite mediocre. I said, oh, this is when you know you have the elite, you have the snobby folks amongst you that have had better. He ain't trying to be relatable because I'm up here. I got the money and all that to back it up with, and not going to run out of it anytime soon. So he's able to just be snooty. Anyway, so we get to the dinner. There's other guests there to celebrate. Brown has this very beautiful necklace on. It looks like that's what her anniversary gift is, and all that good stuff. Kind of having a good time. Some people are making shady remarks about Seth and all that good stuff. They play this game, the not so honeymoon. It's the newlywed game, but not so newlywed. Asking different questions. Who apologizes first? Most of them got each other right. Now, all this time, we're hearing all of this passive aggressiveness that's coming out of Brown. She's talking about her relationship a lot with Todd, and you can tell that there is something there. I think I was treading lightly with Todd. I had not met him and all that good stuff. Angie said something, I think in episode 3, about how she thought Todd was, and thought he was this like rough dude. But then after speaking with him, I think Brown said, well, he's like a soft teddy bear. Is he, Brown? When? You know, when Todd talks with Brown, if you notice, a lot of times her head is down, like she's in trouble, like a child that needs to be disciplined. It's cringe. Some people understand what it's like to be in these older relationships, whether it's sugar daddy or not, but you just kind of go with the flow and let these dudes talk to you any old kind of way, because that comes with the territory. I was like, oh, okay. I don't have that experience as far as dating older people and they got money and I'm being talked to any type of way. So thank you for letting me know. It was awkward, and now I see what other people were already saying, and they kind of someone said it's like Erica Girardi and Tom Girardi. Another person, shout out to Miss Casey, said it's like Camille and Kelsey Grammer. Camille Grammer, I forgot what her new married name is, was married to Kelsey Grammer. If you ever watched Frasier or Cheers, that actor, that's Camille's ex-husband. So anyways, they were married, and a lot of that was going on Beverly Hills back in the earlier seasons. Camille was quite a hellraiser during Beverly Hills heyday in the earlier seasons. So I was like, oh girl, ooh, it's quite cringy. So then there was a question about sexual positions. I'm only going to bring this up. Angie and Sean. Y'all remember what Angie's response was as to... We know. Look. How you get pleasure, is how you get pleasure. When Angie said, posted from the back, I said, oh. Especially with how the optics are with Sean. Oh. We're moving on. Somehow they got on the subject of the Sean and Brooks thing. Look, I'm Team Brooks. A lot of y'all say he's annoying and all that good stuff. I don't care. Team Brooks and all that good stuff. Meredith brings up the conversation that she had with Sean the other day for Angie and Sean's anniversary party. And it looks like Meredith just went by headline. That was more of a... it's a way to get people to draw into the article or whatever type of news feed. That's how it is in the gossip world and all that. For whatever reason, they feel like what Sean was saying, that they were talking about Brooks in whatever podcast. And she was using Brooks as the as a shield, as something, or a defense to get her out of certain stuff that goes on. I was like, well, that don't even make sense. Like, as far as How can you? A lot of people don't even like Brooke, so I don't know. Anyways, well, Sean was like, well, I don't know what I said. It's been a long time. If I said something disparaging, I will apologize, but I did not say anything that I know of, and I can stand by that. Whitney was like, show proof, show proof, show proof. And then Seth was like, it's right here. Yeah. Like, Lord. Seth, that was a lot. You show up after 9 episodes and now you want to do something. I mean, cool. Congratulations, happy birthday. I like the Marks family. You know, they're not the. I'm okay with them, so whatever. So Whitney is fuming inside and said, it's taking everything within me not to jump under that table and beat the ish out of him. Meanwhile, Justin's sitting over here, not saying a word. I find that odd. Does anyone else? If I don't get that, you know? So you're able to easily defend your wife when a woman's coming at you. I'm just looking at the optics. I don't know how you are for real, Justin, but you had nothing to say to this man calling your woman and wife and mother of your children a biatch. He said it. I know why he said it the way that he said it, because he didn't want to say, I'm not calling you, but basically the emphasis still is the same thing as a B, you know? So, what was I going to say? What was I going to say? So, basically they said, let bygones be bygones. Look, Sean said, look, I want to move on and actually move on in a relationship. It's all up to you guys, to the Marks and all that. And Meredith was like, yeah, okay. Meredith was like, in the confessional, look, I don't want to beat a dead horse and all this good stuff. I'm like, did it need to be brought up again? Especially, the proof wasn't proofing as you thought so. I think that the clickbait got the best of you and you didn't really do your research. That's what it looks like. Did anything else happen that, so then Angie was like, well, let's change the subject and let's start talking about Gwen. Brown starts talking about it, but Todd's like, and I'm paraphrasing and all that. We ain't doing that. No. Whatever happens, Gwen's not going to meet them, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, at this point, I guess Todd's putting his foot down, and we're not going to talk about it. Todd didn't feel like it was appropriate to talk over dinner in regards to this, so he shut down Brown pretty quickly. After that was the next day, but then we get a little rewind and said, well, after the whole dinner thing, we all kind of relaxed and just kind of partied and let our hair down again. I was like, and then everybody's in the pool in the jacuzzi like, I love you. We fight hard and whatever, but we still love each other. After all that, but that still seems fake because nobody's really dealt with any issues. Seth is leaving, or did they do anything? I can't, no. The next day, they go to NASCAR. I was like, this is really impressive. They got one of the retired NASCAR people. I forgot his name, Dan something, and they do all these NASCAR races. Brownman was going to attempt to, it was really fun, to talk with Lisa. She's like, the cars are too up, and I'm just going to get more frustrated, but let's just talk a little bit later. So they agreed to talk. Back at the house, Seth has to go. Seth asks Meredith, are we good? I did stay longer. I still got to do what I got to do. He said see, some people think that Seth is cheating, but he actually explained his flight patterns, his path, and all that good stuff. And he said this before, I have to go into Minneapolis just to get to Ohio and all that. I believe all of that. I don't know if he's cheating or not. I don't know. But they don't really stay in Salt Lake City like that. So it's like they have a weird relationship and he's just flying in to film the show. And it also seems like Meredith is doing that also. But Meredith said, yeah, we're good. At least you gave me some more time than what it is, Outside, Angie and all of them was like, ooh, I thought it was really awkward between Meredith and Seth. He still left, da-da-da-da-da. And they also said it looks like, this is what Whitney and Justin, they still want to just hold on to grudges. And Angie's like, well, I put up some olive branches. Do I need to hear with the olives or whatever? Or branches and da-da-da-da-da. It's just not... It's not enough for them. It's like they just keep the stuff going. But I mean, Whitney, what are you doing? Like, I don't even understand why you're talking, because you do that mess. You say you move on, but you don't move on. Whatever. Was there anything else? Oh, well, Lisa and Brown finally hashed it out. I'm not gonna go into the details. I think Brown talking over Lisa a lot is trying to be heard. I understand. I don't think that is right though, Brown. Some said that there's frustration from whatever's going on between her and Todd that's boiling over into her frustrations with Lisa. I was like, I can see that. I'm not going to deny that. I think she wants to be heard and acknowledged, and with the women, she's able to fight to try to get it, but she got to fight hard. Nobody's going to give it to her really, how can I say this, freely. So, yeah, I see that type of frustration that comes up out of Brown. I think Brown does need to talk with someone about personal stuff. Probably not with this group or whatever. But that was a lot. She got Lisa to at least acknowledge her feelings and stop trying to coddle Heather, because you're still trying to speak up for Heather, but you're not speaking up for me. So we finally got to some type of end. Now, everybody's getting ready to go home. Brown and Todd got everyone plane tickets. It's coach. Basically, they're not going back home in the private jet. The flight is 40-something minutes, and Lisa is having a moment. She said, I don't fly coach. I need first class. I said, oh, you know, we can go into LA. I'm like, so you're going to do all this extra just to not sit and coach for less than an hour? I get comfort status, but if this was like a 2-hour, 3-hour, 5-hour flight, I would understand it. But for 47 minutes, you'll be okay. Yeah, so she's going around doing a Lisa Barlow. Whatever. So obviously this is going to cause some new tension and all that. But that's all I do have. Still another good episode. I don't know where they go from here, because that season trailer is something crazy. But obviously whatever was going on in the jacuzzi was just fake and crazy. Because how you go from all of what happened to, oh, we love each other. Shut up. Whatever. Y'all need to really work out your differences. But anyways, that's all I do have. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for coming to my channel. Like this video and also subscribe. And until the next one, peace.